Well, good evening from the great state of Maine. This video is going to be a little different. It's going to be part rant, part thank you, and part educational for folks that need it. This past weekend, we had a catch and release charity striper tournament to honor my father, Andy, who passed away a couple years ago from lung cancer. We ended up raising $2,400 for the Dempsy Center here in Maine that provides services to folks undergoing chemo and their families. We utilized the center through the last couple years of my dad's battle with lung cancer, and really thought that with COVID and a lot of their charitable stuff taking a hit, it would be a good thing to do, and also raise awareness about the proper use of circle hooks and catch and release fishing for striped bass here in Maine and New England. With that said, congratulations for the second year in a row to Justin Cooper. Guy put up some absolute tank fish, but all in all, we had 62 people in the tournament and some 200 stripers were caught and released. I was very happy to see, everybody on the water. We got hit with a tropical storm Friday night, but it burned itself out, and absolute beautiful day, and even a cracker on Sunday. My Uncle Fred managed to catch his first 40-inch plus fish with my Uncle Benny, so that was a good highlight. But big problem I had was Saturday, drifting the outgoing tide Pine Point on the jetty. I saw a guy catch a striper and gut hook the fish. And you might say, how the hell do you know that? 150 yards away, and I knew it because as soon as the striper came on shore, he grabbed his pliers, went down in the mouth, and just started yanking and ripping. I get it. Not everybody can afford fishing tackle. Not everybody has a boat. But at the end of the day, you're putting a fish's life at risk for your own entertainment, enjoyment, relaxation, whatever you want to call it. So it's your responsibility as an angler and a conservationist, which we all need to be, to ensure that that fish is going to survive. So there's a couple things you can do. Number one, don't haul the fish out of the water by the leader, especially if you see that it's not hooked in the mouth. If it is, it's a schoolie, you're surf fishing, whatever. Shit happens, I know. Do what you can, but if it's down in the gut, get your damn hand in there, thumb it. They don't have teeth. They don't have any teeth. They have abrasion pads. Even the big fish just make your thumb a little sore. It's not going to do much. Do not haul the fish out of the water by the frickin' leader if it's gut hooked. Number two, don't just clip it. If you had a big piece of metal in your stomach and someone let you go, you would die. I know, you got to get the fish back in the water, he's bleeding, and none of that shit's going to matter. A hook is not going to rust out of a fish's stomach. It's just not. So there is a way to remove a gut hooked circle hook. It's pretty simple. It's a technique I picked up watching tournament bass fishermen, largemouth fishermen down in Texas. I know, stupid, but it's funny how well it works. So the first thing you do when you bring the fish on, keep it in the water as long as you can, support the belly, all the normal things you do, but first and foremost, and I have a little leader for example here, disconnect your leader from the rest of your rig. Then you take the leader, and if the hook, say the hook is facing that way, you have the gauge of the hook so it would rotate this way. You feed your leader down the fish's mouth and out the gill on that side. So what you're doing is you're rotating the hook in the fish's mouth so that instead of a whole heap of stomach, it now just has a little tip of stomach. And this is out the fish's gill. You can have a buddy pull down. You could step on the leader to keep it in place. And then what you do is you take a pair of pliers, you go down, you grab it on the actual apex of the fish, and you pull this way and up. And it comes out. It releases the guts will go back down, and the fish will live. You get your stupid rig back, and the fish is now no longer having its guts ripped up into its throat with a big piece of metal swimming around. The final thing you do, put the fish in the water, hold it, and swim it. Don't jerk it back and forth. Don't frickin' move the tail so it swims off. I don't give a shit if there's a blitz going. Take the time to make sure that fish is going to live. You put his life in risk for your own enjoyment. You sit there and you hold that friggin' fish until it dies or it swims away. Plain and simple. I got some footage of me pulling one of these off. I may splice it in here. But yeah, bottom line, don't kill fish for your own fun. It's dumb. These stripers can grow to be, 80 pounds, massive leviathans in the deep that people can enjoy for 20, 30, 40 years down the road. Take a little bit of time, have some friggin' decency, and make sure you take care of the fish. It's a simple technique, and you'll save your rig and you'll save the striper. But with that said, thanks for tuning in. And thanks to everybody that participated. I'll throw some photos up here, some of the absolute tanks that were caught. Like I said, all in all, great tournament. Glad we raised some funds. We're going to be doing it again next year. Hopefully get our shit together a little bit earlier so we can have some, some more sponsorship. But then a big thanks to Pete at Saco Bay and Hewitt's down in Camp Ellis for hosting the event. But yeah, if you're a shore fisherman and you're gut hooking fish, go get a pair of these, man. Take care of the damn striper, because I'm going to throw like an 8-ounce sinker on one of my big rods, and you're going to be dodging them if I catch somebody down there gut-wrenching a fish again. But have a good one, and good luck.